Hey guys, I want to do a quick overview of the DW9002 double bass pedal, and I'm going to try to cram it all into 10 minutes. So real quick we'll talk about the case it comes in. It comes shipped in this case inside of a cardboard box, and this case actually ends up being the new home for it for the rest of its life. Opens on 2 plastic hinges, closes with 2 plastic latches, and even though it's plastic it seems like it'll be roadworthy, in my opinion. I took the pedals out already just to save a little bit of time, but everything fits back in here in its own little place, and that's actually a little bit of a gripe of mine, is that you kind of have to take the pedal back down to the basics just to get it back in the case. So you got your 2 separate pedals, 2 beaters, and then you actually even have to take apart your universal joint shaft into 2 parts to get it to fit back in here. Kind of a pain, but you know, I guess it'll help with the preservation of your pedal over time. Paperwork comes in the box, direction booklet. It gives you instruction on how to change your chain drive over to a nylon strap, which the straps are included. DW Drumware 05. I guess if you don't feel like giving $550 to DW is enough, you can get the DW golf towel. It's probably another $50. Additional hardware in here comes with toe stoppers for the front of your boards, little rubber pads, and extra Allen wrenches, and an extra T-handle screw to tighten down your kick pedal on the slave pedal if you decide to change it over to a single kick. Some other hardware in here for the nylon straps, things like that. And here are the nylon straps here. So that's it for the case and all the crap that comes in it. Okay, let's talk about the pedals now. I have here the master pedal disconnected from the slave just so I can move it around a little bit easier. The bearings throughout the pedal, you got one down here in the hinge down by your heel. You have a bearing in the post that the spring tensioner rides on. You can see that. It's a pretty neat feature. And then the spring holder on the top is also on its own independent bearing. And you can see that this thing spins, so there's really no friction there at all. The biggest claim to fame with this pedal is the floating rotor assembly, and basically what that means is that these rotors kind of are floating on the shaft, which is also mounted on ball bearings. And if you look here, you can actually see this whole shaft spins. So everything moves independently across the shaft on this, on the bass pedal itself. One little attention to detail that they did, I don't know if you can see here, some of it's sticking through, but they put small pieces of lint, or not lint, felt inside the springs, you know, to keep the noise down, so no squeaks or creaks happening there. Pedal comes with a little tool that mounts down to the floorboard, and basically it's just a drum key and 2 hex keys, and it's purpose built for the pedal to make all your adjustments on. The first adjustment, you can adjust how this beater sits in relationship to the head, and to change that, you can stick the key through the hole in the pillar, unloosen the hex nut that's on the other side, and what you'll see is that you're actually unloosening this thing right here, and you'll be able to slide back and forth in the slot. So if you move it forward, your pedal's going to be, or your beater's going to be closer to the head. If you move it anywhere back or all the way back, it's going to be pretty far back. And of course, you know, your spring here is going to be retensioned according to how you want your beater to sit. But that's one adjustment you could do. And you'll notice if you decide you want to go back that far, you can see how high up that pedal sits, and you're like, the hell good is that? Well, a second adjustment you could do is independently move your pedal board back down to a comfortable playing position simply by unloosening the screw right here that holds your dual chain drive, and it just is going to slide inside a slot that's built on top of the rotor like that. So there you go. Now your pedal's back down in relation to where your beater's sitting. Okay, that's the second adjustment. The third adjustment's kind of a, I don't know if it's a DW invented deal or what it is, but basically the way that your chain sits inside this rotor right here, you can adjust how far in this way or out that way it goes. The farther in you go, you have more of a natural feel, and the relation or the ratio of your pedal to beater movement is matched. If you move the chain out farther, it's supposed to increase your sensitivity and speed, and how you do that is down underneath the rotor. There's that little screw right there. You could use your hex wrench to unloosen it. Okay, and now you could see the same thing. It's got some space there to slide back and forth, and if you watch the chain on the front of the rotor, you'll be able to see it move. You see? So that's there as another setting you could do. So now that my pedal's totally messed up and pretty much unusable until I go back and reset it, down on the bottom here you have two different adjustments to clamp onto your pedal or to your hoop. The first one here is your main one, and this is more of a permanent one where you get your setting pretty close down to clamp, and then there's a set screw inside this thing that'll set down on the threads, and it's pretty much permanent, and then you just finish the job with the one on the side here. So it's pretty quick, and it's almost quick release once you have it set the way that your hoop is. You know, you don't have to sit here and spin this thing all night to get it to come on or off. Alright, so that's the master pedal. The slave pedal shares all the same adjustments, okay? You have your adjustment here to move your chain back or forth, to move your pedal up or down, however you like it. You also have that kind of weird adjustment to move the chain up or down on the rotor itself for more or less power and sensitivity. And then basically just your universal joint shaft here. I know a big concern with universal joints on your double kick pedals is that they're slopping them, and I have to tell you, better yet I'll show you, this pedal is not exempt, meaning it does have a little bit of play in it. Okay, I'm not going to be able to get this all in frame, but basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my slave pedal tight so it can't move at all, and you'll see that I'm still able to move this beater just a fraction of an inch based on the slot that's in this joint and then the one over connected to the slave. So I'm holding the slave tight, okay, and you could still see it seems like a lot of play. but for some reason you don't really notice it that much when you're playing. I know there's other pedals out there that have supposedly remedied it with their own version of the universal joint, but I haven't tested them out. So right now I'm going to set these up on a little practice pad and show you guys how it works.